What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV. Another video, another live stream. Shout out everyone who's joining live and big up everyone watching afterwards. Don't forget, get involved, leave your comments, let's interact. Keep subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. So I thought I'd talk about Arsenal and the improvements. I think we're getting there. I think there's reason for optimism. I know Roy Keane was quite critical of us yesterday, saying that, we're getting carried away and that, he thought we were 10 points top, clear at the top of the league. But actually, we're 10th in the league. But forget about Roy Keane, man. He's a sour guy anyway. We all know as Arsenal fans why Arsenal celebrated Lacazette's goal in that manner. It wasn't because we think we're going to win the league or, we think we're this great team all of a sudden. We needed that result. The circumstances dictated how we celebrated that. Lacazette hadn't scored for a while. And he desperately needed that goal, man. And the goal was very fortunate, man. You look at the way Lacazette hit that, I think he kicked it off his right foot onto his left, but who cares? Mesut Ozil needed a goal. First goal of the season, man, and we're in February. So I think Roy Keane needs to rein it in a little bit, man. This is a long-term plan for this football club. We're at the beginning of the road. We feel we've got a long-term appointment now, and he is improving players in this squad. There are players who I felt were completely finished at this club, who have shown character over the last few weeks, who have shown good form. That doesn't mean long-term that we should keep them, but until the end of the season, they're going to have use for us. And we're starting to run into problems now that are nice problems, We're having arguments and debates about who we should play in which position. You've got Pablo Mari and Cedric Suarez coming back. So, I don't mind the situation we're in. We know we need to improve and we know we're a long way off, but the process has begun and I can see progress. The Saint says, yes, Curtis, big up the Saint, always celebrating. Omar said, evening, bro. We are improving indeed, but the results are still up and down. We have to be consistent between now and the end of the season. Totally agree with you, Omar. I've been the first one to say this as well, that we can't compliment draws all the time. We have to start winning games. And that Newcastle game hopefully is the start of a winning run. We've got decent fixtures coming up, man. So let's hope that, that we can achieve something. And Anthony Williams says, man, big up Anthony Williams. Jordan said, evening. Let's have a look what else you guys are saying. AFC UK said, Roy Keane is a langer. Let's have a look. Gunnar Dread says, what's good, Curtis? Big up. Let's have a look. Vieira's child. Talking about Roy Keane. Nikos Dimitri said, Vieira's child shouldn't talk. Come on, man. Vieira used to handle Roy Keane, man. Don't watch nothing there. Troy Jarvis, definitely a bit of fighting spirit in the team since Arteta came in. Long may it continue on a rainy away game. I agree, mate. Andre Nicol, give Saka 50k a week. We need to keep him, man. The clubs are, they're looking. Apparently Man United, Chelsea and Borussia Dortmund are all interested in Saka. We've offered him 50k a week, apparently. Reese said, evening, Curtis, Blood Clot Show. Big up, man. Watch the Blood Clot Show, Taib Hussein says, Steve McManaman or David Beckham? Mate, come on. Come on, mate. That's not... Come on, Bex. Bex was different level, mate. Deliver like Domino's pizza, mate. His delivery was a joke. McManaman was a good player, though. Big up McManaman, but Beckham, next level with the delivery, man. Deadman99 said, we need to tie down Saka ASAP, 100%. Get him in the office, get the contract and say, listen, man, you don't leave till you sign. There's the money, man. This kid's got a long-term future at the club. I believe he could be a great left-back. But obviously, he might become a left winger. That's his natural position, but definitely we need to keep him. Curtis Allen said, Bex was a legend, 100%. How has he not got an icon card on FIFA, by the way? The Saint says Ceballos needs more games. I agree. Ceballos was superb against Newcastle. I know it is only Newcastle, no disrespect to them, but we're going to have more difficult tests throughout the season. And that's where we will see how good Ceballos is. I remember that Burnley game earlier in the season, he was unreal. And the week after we played Liverpool, he got shut down, man. GMS7 said, sell Guendouzi for 40 million. Now, I wanted to talk about this quickly. Don't know if you guys all saw, apparently this report came out that Arteta and Guendouzi had a bust-up in the warm weather training camp in Dubai. Arteta didn't like his attitude and something he said. What are your thoughts on Guendouzi in general? Because for me, Guendouzi is a talented young player, but, I don't think he plays great in a partnership. When he plays with Xhaka, I feel we're weak. He kind of plays his own individual game. All this stuff with Arteta coming out, I don't want to overly criticise Guendouzi, right? Because these things happen. He's only like 20 years old. He's a bit petulant. He's got probably a little bit big-headed with being called up for the French national team. But the question I want to ask, does Guendouzi need time and coaching to sort out his attitude? Or if you got a decent offer, maybe from the French league in the summer, would you cash in on Guendouzi? Let me know. I don't want to jump the gun and just say, he's shown a bad attitude, get rid of him. But genuinely for me, if a PSG or someone like that came in and said, you know what, we'll give you 40 million for Guendouzi, I'd take it. I hope you don't think I'm being, a little bit temperamental here because he's had an argument and I'm just saying sell him. I genuinely think Guendouzi's okay. He has got talent. He is young. He plays for France, so that will add to his price. But, it's interesting that Arteta has taken that approach with him, and I like that. You need to show a good attitude if you want to be at this club. And Guendouzi he just strikes me as a little bit petulant, he seems a little bit like his attitude and his ego has gone up a little bit, which is understandable. 20 years of age, come from the French second division. He's now in the French squad. But Arteta laying down the law, man. Sakala Martin said, never bench Mustafi in English Premier League. I don't want to get carried away with Mustafi, I'll be honest with you. He's playing well at the moment and I'll support him while he's in the team. But I still think we need to upgrade him in the summer, man. Let's not get carried away. Andre Harper says, yes, Curtis, big up yourself. Improvement. Dre and Mickey, Arsenal all day. We have improved, but there's a long way to go, isn't there, man? We need to get back in that Champions League. Can we win the Europa League? Or can we finish fifth? Fifth might get us Champions League if Man City's ban goes through. Taib Hussein said, I don't rate Guendouzi, he should be sold. Interesting. Billy Dalton said, sell Guendouzi to PSG so he can get into the French team. Would you take 40 million for Guendouzi? I think I would. Yonis Hassan, 25 grand. What do you think Saka should get? Yeah, I think around 25, 30 grand. I think he's earned that. Harissa Wan said, big up Curtis, 2:40 a.m. in Malaysia now. Respect, man. Appreciate the support, man. Really appreciate it. It's amazing that you can connect with fans of Arsenal and football fans in general worldwide. So I appreciate your support. Omar said, don't you think he has the Euros in mind, Guendouzi? I think he'll struggle to get in the French squad, if I'm honest. I think he only really got called up because France had injury problems at the time. I think, Kante, Matuidi, Rabiot, Pogba, and Zonzi, all these guys, I think he'll struggle to get in ahead of those guys. Ndombele, they've got a lot of midfielders. Curtis Allen said, Jude Bellingham from Birmingham, he looks a gem. Yeah, I've heard a lot of the top clubs are looking at him. Kieran Salah says, bad attitude from where? He's young and has been playing Premier League football all season for Arsenal. He's naturally going to be a bit gassed. All these snowflakes need to get a grip. Yeah, I get your point. I'm not jumping on, the hype because of a bit of bad attitude. I don't care about that. Henry had a bit of attitude. Anelka had attitude. A lot of these players are like that. Van Persie, a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. But I'm just saying in general with Guendouzi, how highly do you rate him? And would you cash in on him? Shadows said, Nzonzi with the laughing faces. Is Nzonzi finished now, man? I was just thinking about players that were in the French squad in the World Cup, and I remember Nzonzi came on in the final. Forgive me if Nzonzi's washed up now, man. I know he's back in the French league, actually. But you know what I mean. France have got a lot of good centre mids. And Denman99 said, when's the new Blood Brothers season start, bro? Apparently the pre-season starts at the end of April. And I want to let you know, any of you guys out there who have played football at a decent level, or even if you haven't, but you rate yourself highly as a player, AFTVFC are holding trials on the 1st of March. For any players who want to get involved, send an email to AFTV. They've actually got a video, so go on their channel, have a look. I think Robbie put a video up, and send an email with your CV in. And we're looking for new players. So if you rate yourself highly as a footballer, get onto it, man. I think they're taking emails until next week. So have a look at that. Shadow said, yeah, and Nzonzi is really finished right now. Only Emery would get him. Emery always wanted him, didn't he, man? He loved him. Bert said, yes, Curtis, how's it going? Did you see Upamecano come out in an interview on German radio saying he would only move from Leipzig in the summer to compete for major prizes? So that's us out. I mean, if we're in the Champions League, you never know. Ben said, big up Curtis, off topic, but did you see the Musa Marega racism yesterday? It's a disgrace that UEFA and FIFA don't care. It doesn't surprise me, bro, and that's what's wrong with society and football, that how do these big companies like FIFA and UEFA, they just don't care about it. They don't punish the clubs, and that's why people are having to contend with it, and it's disgusting. And I respect Marega for trying to walk off the pitch, and I would really question why his teammates were trying to stop him. I understand, they're sort of saying don't let them win by walking off, but by staying on the pitch does nothing either. You can't keep staying on the pitch and accepting it when the powers that be aren't doing anything. It's a joke, man. When's it going to change? Let's hope so in the future. Anthony Williams said, Curtis, Tupac or Biggie? I was a Tupac fan, I'll be honest. I love Biggie's lyrical content, but Tupac, the story, more depth to his music for me. I really connected with him, especially, the deep life tunes that he made. Tupac was my favourite rapper, man, growing up. Master P says, yo, brother, if Arteta keeps performing like this, Barca, Real, Man City will come and take him, especially if the board doesn't back him. It's interesting, I know for a fact that he's talked about Barcelona before. He's from that part of Spain, so you could see them coming for him in the future. But let's cross that bridge when we come to it, man. Hopefully we don't. Omar said, it's not surprising, man. FIFA and UEFA are doing nothing to solve this issue. They don't care, man. It's similar to the FA in England. They're dinosaurs, mate. They're old. They're from that old school era. They haven't moved with modern times, and they don't care about it, And Kieran Salas said, when racism happens, they should all walk off. And that's the only option. You shouldn't have to do that, because why should you as a professional athlete have to leave your environment because of racial abuse? You shouldn't. But because the powers that be are not doing anything, you should say, you know what? Okay, you lot want to abuse me like that. I'm going to walk off the pitch, and let's see what happens when your brand starts to get damaged, especially if top players walk off. Imagine Mbappe walking off in a Champions League game. UEFA will start panicking. Whoa, big game, Champions League, game being watched all over the world, and a superstar is walking off the pitch. All of a sudden, you'll see something happen. But I've got no respect for these companies, man. FIFA, UEFA, the FA, they're a joke, mate. They're an absolute joke. Craig Hill said, I'm hoping Atletico beat Liverpool and put a bit of doubt in their mind. I can't see it happening. Honestly, don't. I know Atletico are at home. I still think Liverpool will probably win or maybe a draw. But it'll be a good game. Curtis Allen said, UEFA are useless. Totally agree, mate. All they care about is money. The Saints says they're a disgrace, 100%. Let's have a look. Versa said, Curtis, if we get top four, would you still do a clear out? To a certain extent, yeah. I still think players like Mustafi, Kolasinac, I'm not sure Nketiah is up to it, if I'm honest. Xhaka, I'm still not sure whether I would keep him. There's other players as well, I think Cedric Suarez, we need to see what he's about. But yeah, we definitely need a commanding centre-back. I think we need a powerful centre midfielder. I still think we need a ball player. Potentially that could be Ceballos. But, you know, the Dani Ceballos situation worries me a little bit because, you know, watching him the other day, if he can perform like that for the rest of the season, you know, we're going to want to sign him. And, you know, we haven't got the option to buy. And what Real Madrid are going to do, surely, is say, OK, you can take him, but you're not getting him for 30 million. You're going to have to pay 50 or 60 million. And then Arsenal might walk away. Or they might just say, you know, decent age, Spanish international, and they'll keep him. And, you know, then he's used Arsenal as like a development centre. We should have definitely worked hard to have had an option to buy. But it's one of them things. Ramon Chowdhury said, who would you buy as an attacking mid? I would like Jack Grealish. I've said this a few times. I really rate the guy. I would have took Ziyech, but of course he's going to Chelsea. So yeah, they're the ones I would look at. Binny Man said, mate, watching you from Ethiopia, we like you, man. Respect, man. I appreciate that. I really do. All the support is appreciated. I want to start doing some things on the channel to give back to the people that are watching and supporting, some giveaways and things like that. As you can see, the channel is still at a fairly new stage, slowly trying to improve and get new equipment, got a little microphone, and, you know, I want to get something sorted with the background, hopefully get a better camera. So slowly but surely, but I want to give something back to the people who support, man. But I really do appreciate everyone and their comments. Keep subscribing if you haven't already, man. I'm on the road to 10k. Hopefully get there by the end of the season. Krish KR7 said, Grealish is better overall player than Maddison. Totally agree. I think he's a bit quicker on the ball, a bit stronger. Shadow said, Grealish would flourish under Arteta. Totally agree with that. Zach AFC said, would you take Coutinho? Would I take Coutinho? Yeah, he's a brilliant player. I'd find it hard to say no. Even though he does sort of only play as a 10, I would have to get him because I just think he's a brilliant player, to be honest. Simon Sorensen said, Hossim Iwar from Lyon, big French talent. Yeah, I've heard he's a very good player. I think he's quite small, isn't he, but a ball player, very good player. The Saint says Grealish getting better and better. I totally agree. And I think he would jump at the chance of going to Arsenal. Jordan Fall said, your channel will grow, don't worry. Real recognise real. Big up, man. Respect, man. That's it. That's all you can be in this, man. You've seen, I don't want to get too deep, but you've seen with things happening over the past few days, particularly with Caroline Flack, God rest her soul, you know, that social media can be a very negative thing if used in the wrong way. But if used in the right way, it can be positive, lots of interaction, can bring people together and create a little community. You know, I've only been doing this a few months and I've met a lot of great people, not all Arsenal fans. And, you know, that's what it's all about for me. So I appreciate all your comments and support. The real Gianni said, yo, Curtis, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you jumping in. Versa says, respect to the chat. When Curtis is on 100k, we can say we was here first. And that's the thing. When your channel is smaller like this, you remember the names, you interact, you remember, comment what people have said before, and you know, you can, the interaction's a bit more personal. Let's have a look. Neil Lewis said, Mustafi's going nowhere under Arteta. Certainly not till the end of the season, that's for sure. And he's only got a year left. I wouldn't go as far as to give him a new contract, though. I really wouldn't go that far. Omar says, big up yourself, bro. I like the live streams. Big up Omar, man. Always supporting. Appreciate that. Big up the Saint as well. Said, love this channel. Very good. Always supporting as well. Chris KR7, what do you think of Xhaka? Midfielder can't beat the press and can't keep the ball well. Very poor for a top 4 team. I think he's okay at the moment, but if I'm honest, I would still try and move him on in the summer. That's just my opinion. Max Carroll said, hi Curtis, what's up? What game are you watching tonight, by the way? Could you please do a watch along, mate? I'd love your vids. Keep it up. I am going to start Arsenal watch alongs, especially for away games. I'm going to watch tonight. I'm going to watch Dortmund against PSG. You know, I should really watch an English club, but I'm just excited by the attacking football, man. I really like, you know, Sancho and Neymar and Mbappe. I want to see those guys, man. So I'll watch that. Curtis Allen said, when is Ozil's contract up? Next season, the end of next season. Let's have a look. Why OSR's 20 says, no response, Curtis. I missed your question, mate. Send me it. Salou said, Curtis, would you sell Guendouzi for any DM? Well, not any DM, but if you give me, Thomas Partey or someone like that, I would move him on. A Carl Basser said, Xhaka is our best and most consistent midfielder. Is that a reflection, though, of how good Xhaka is or how poor our midfield is? I think Ceballos is better than him on the ball, but doesn't give us that balance as well in midfield. So, yeah, it's a fair point. Would you still get rid of Ozil after yesterday, says Reed Kennard? He's got to produce that more consistently. I'll give him till the end of the season, but I don't expect him to produce that week in, week out, but I hope he does. If he does, I'll keep him. Jordan Farr said, what's your Dortmund v PSG prediction? I'm going to go 2-1 PSG. I think they just have a bit too much for Dortmund. Omar said, I would still bin Xhaka in the summer, and I would still sell him. Adonis Goku said, wouldn't you love Sancho at Arsenal as a possible wing replacement to Lacazette if he were to go? I would love Sancho at Arsenal, mate, but he's going to cost, I would say, what do you reckon, 80 million plus in the summer. He's a fantastic player. Gunnar Dredd said Ozil needs to go regardless. Max Carroll says, hi Curtis, what's up? Do you think VAR is stupid and would you keep it or get rid of it? I think in its current state in the Premier League, you've got to get rid of it. Unless they can use it more effectively, just get rid of it. For me, it's ruining the Premier League. We saw it effectively used in the Champions League last season. In the Premier League, it's been an absolute disaster. And I can tell you, when you go to the games now, when Arsenal score, I genuinely don't celebrate properly, because if it looks a little bit like there might have been a foul or an offside, you just think, I can't celebrate. Would you sell Lacazette for a new player, says Michael Summers? It depends on the player, mate. But Lacazette needs to keep scoring goals, that's for sure. 50 mil plus Lacazette for Sancho, said Adonis. That's not a bad shout, honestly. I would do that deal. I would actually do that. Can you imagine Pepe, Aubameyang and Jadon Sancho in a front three? I mean, wow. Or we could even play Pepe in the 10 and play Martinelli, Aubameyang, Pepe in the 10 and Sancho out wide on the right. Oh, mate. Who should we get for a new number 10 if we sell Ozil, says Craig Hill? For me, I would go for Grealish. I would have liked Ziyech as well. I think he's a brilliant player. I would take Coutinho as well, but that would be very expensive. Very difficult. Al says, big up Curtis, score prediction for Arsenal v Olympiacos. I'm going for a 2-0 win. I think we'll beat Olympiacos, but they will be difficult. And a lot depends on how strong a team Arteta picks. I would go full strength personally, because I think the Europa League is vital. Nikos Dimitru said Grealish was bullying Spurs on Sunday. Baller. Omar said I prefer Maddison. Interesting. I just think Grealish is a bit more mobile, a bit stronger than Maddison. I think Maddison's a bit of a set piece specialist more than all-round amazing game. Let's have a look. Jordan Fall said Olympiacos are 24 unbeaten at home. It's a fair point, man. They'll be a difficult game away from home, that's for sure. Basil Eldo said Arteta wants a ball progressive, not a 10. Yeah, true. And but I think Grealish can do that, that's for sure. Let's have a look. Damien Oman said, Curtis, is Ian Wright's best ever striker as his stats was better than Henry's as he scored his goals in a shorter time? Ah, mate, I think Ian Wright was just so clinical. That is what you call a natural born finisher. Henry was a wide player who improved over time with coaching and, became a monster at the club. Wright, he was so prolific, in front of goal, you'd put your house on Ian Wright. I love Ian Wright, Ian Wright was probably the player that made me want to support Arsenal. But I'll be honest, Thierry's my favourite Arsenal player ever. That's the king for me. So I'll go with Henry. It's the king, man. Curtis Allen said Andy Cole or righty. I'll go righty, but yeah, big up Andy Cole, man. He was a great player, to be fair, at United, but I feel Liam Wright was a little bit more clinical than Cole. I think Cole needed an extra chance more than righty. But great players. Kieran Salah said Ian Wright was incredible, but to be honest, Ian Wright should have won the 2004 Ballon d'Or. How Henry never won a Ballon d'Or, I will never know. Incredible player. Jordan said, me as well, right, he made me support Arsenal and I'm from Bradford. Mate, it doesn't matter where you're from. You can be anywhere in the world. Ian Wright had so much personality about him. An incredible finisher in front of goal. So much charisma. You know, he embarrassed goalkeepers, used to chip them. He's celebrating in front of away fans. He was a character. And you know, this is what makes you relate to players. My sound said, hi Curtis, big up for reading our comments as always. Cheers from Vienna. Appreciate that, man. No problem. You know, I wanted to make this channel interactive. I know myself, when I watch, you know, other people's YouTube channels, it's nice to have that interaction and people reading out your comments and interacting. That's what it's all about, man. I appreciate everyone's support. Keep subscribing, man. Dylan1 said, hey Curtis, like your channel. We are doing well at the moment, but as you would agree, there's always room for improvement. Let's keep those likes coming, peeps. Big up, man. I appreciate that. Lots of room for improvement. You know, we need to keep winning games. And it's as simple as that. Leon Hyman said, bless up, Curtis. The top teams, Liverpool and City, play 4-3-3. Our left side would already be set. Tierney, Saka, Martinelli. What's your thoughts? I mean, we've got some good players there on the left, that's for sure. Saka at the moment, it's hard for Tierney to get back in, man, I'm telling you. You know, because he is playing brilliant. Appreciate your comment, Leon Hyman, man. Always supporting as well. Andre Nichols said, I'll take Kai Havertz from Bayer Leverkusen. Very good player, but he will be very expensive. Carl Basra said, I would sell Bellerin and get Ricardo Pereira. I think Pereira is a brilliant right back. He would be expensive. The Real Gianni said, what YouTube channels do you watch? I watch a lot, but if you're talking about maybe like Arsenal football channels, you know, Sunny TV Unfiltered. I watch Deluded Gooner. Gooner Claude TV. There's a few, man. Obviously AF TV as well. And just things like that. There's a lot, man. I hope I haven't left too many out actually, but yeah, there's a lot of other channels I watch, but they're the main Arsenal ones. Let's have a look. Krish KR7 says Saka should try right wing position. I think at the moment though, mate, Pepe is always going to play there. We need to stick with Pepe. Ben said, did you see Wenger's comments that we've never been in decline? He's definitely in denial. I think he's just sort of defending himself in the fact that he's saying, you know, Emery said that we've been in decline for 2 years, and he's sort of saying, you know, well, the year before, 2 years before, we won the FA Cup, got 75 points. The year before that, you know, we got to Europa League semi-final and under difficult circumstances. So I do think we was in decline, but maybe not as much as Emery's saying, you know. Wenger's always going to defend himself. Crone 1989 said, big up Big C. Who's your favourite non-Arsenal player of all time? Keep up the good work. My favourite is R9, Brazilian Ronaldo. That is actually my favourite footballer of all time. And probably Ronaldinho as well, the most skillful player I've ever seen. Starling said, Deluded Gooner has a channel. Yeah, man, Deluded's got a great channel, man. Go and check that out as well. Rafael said, you and Deluded Gooner should combine for more shows. Two intelligent lads discussing the game. Yeah, me and DG, man, we've done a couple of shows together. We're gonna try and do one every month. So I think we did one in January. So hopefully we'll get one in this month. I'm gonna have to holler at Deluded, man. We need to get a show done. Hopefully I'll see him on Sunday at the game. So I'll talk to him then. Let's have a look. Delon1 said Ronaldinho was my favourite too. Oh, mate, the most skillful player I've ever seen. Jordan Fall said, and Turkish as well. Big up Turkish, man. Yeah. Turkish, Deluded and myself. Yeah, we're often at YouTube when he does the supporters club. We've done that a few times, so we'll try and do some combinations, get a few shows out together as well. Big up Turkish, big up to Deluded Guna as well. Big up Turkish's channel as well. That's another one whose channel I watch. Let's have a look. Versa said, unless you're a Liverpool fan, what are you laughing at us for? First is first, second is nowhere. It's one of them, innit, bro? But we just need to get back in the Champions League. That's the only other thing. In order for us to move forward with the rest of the season, really. But certainly we're improving. We've got a decent run of fixtures coming up, and we're actually unbeaten in 2020, although, you know, we're still drawing too many games. That's the problem. But hopefully after this, you know, 4-0 win against Newcastle, hopefully now we can go on a little bit of a run. If you look at our fixtures now, so we've got Olympiacos in the Europa League. We then play Everton, and of course we've got Everton and West Ham at home are our next 2 league games. Winnable fixtures for us. And then Southampton and Brighton away and Norwich at home. I mean, we could win the next 5 games. I know this is Arsenal and they always seem to throw away games that they should win. But you never know. Curtis Allen said, prime Fernando Torres or Aubameyang. I'm going to be honest. I think all-round game Fernando Torres. I've got to be totally honest. He was sensational, man. But big up Aubameyang, of course. Let's have a look. Ray Anderson said, first I'm catching you live. Big up Ray Anderson from Jamaica. Yeah, man, big up Ray Anderson. You know, I represented Jamaica at youth level. You know, I've been Jamaica a few times. Kingston, Halfway Tree, Chelsea, Cherry Gardens. You know, I've been Jamaica a few times. Big up all the Jamaican fans supporting. Appreciate that. Leon Hyman said Jamaica repping. Yeah, man. Basil Eldo said Bellerin looks a totally different player, shorter pace. Yeah, since the injury, man, doesn't look quite as sharp, but St. Maximin was moving mad, man. He was so quick. Let's have a look. Bill Bin said, would you try and keep Ozil or get rid? I'd move him on in the summer. Unless he has a really, really good end to the season, but this is the problem with him, man. He doesn't often keep that consistency. Jordan Fall said, if Man City's ban is upheld, we should try and get Leroy Sané. Great player. I just think he'll go Bayern Munich. He's spoken a few times about going back to Germany, but I would try. Beatsbox Dre Beat says, yo, Curtis, what do you think of Son's injury and will Spurs collapse? Can we go up? Yeah, I mean, I was shocked by that. Mourinho says Son will be out for the season. And obviously with Harry Kane injured, you know, they play Chelsea at the weekend. Hopefully they'll be dropping points, man. Can we sneak into 5th? If Man City are banned, 5th might get us Champions League. Can we even sneak into 4th? You never know. Carl said, could St. Maximin be the future Sadio Mane? I don't think he's got as much end product, but you never know. Do you rate Todd Cantwell and Max Aarons from Norwich, says Nazar. Max Aarons is very good. Cantwell is good as well. I would take Aarons. Cantwell, I'm not sure. I think we'd need a better attacking mid, but maybe if we got him cheap, you know. Ray Anderson said, I saw it on another YouTube video that you did. It's many Jamaicans doing YouTube videos for Arsenal. Yeah, man, a lot of people, you know. Robbie, obviously, on AFTV. Laurie as well. You know, Deluded Guna, you know, Troops, you know, myself. A lot of people with Jamaican backgrounds, man. So, big up everyone, you know. Let's have a look. Buendia from Norwich is another gem, says Krish KR7. Yeah, you know, Bav's always telling me about this guy, saying he's a bit similar to Santi Cazorla. Very good player from what I've seen. Looks very competent on the ball. What's your opinion on Mustafi's situation now that he's playing so well? Keep playing him. It might sound harsh, but I would sell him at the end of the season. I don't mean to sound disrespectful. I just don't think he's got the consistency. But, you know, if he plays like this from now till the end of the season, then maybe we'll keep him. But I'll be surprised if he does, because I've seen him play well before for 4 or 5 games and then make a huge error. Let's not forget he made a very big error against Chelsea that got David Luiz sent off. But listen, I support any player who plays for Arsenal. I want them all to do well. Ray Anderson said, Aarons is good to compete with Bellerin. Yeah, I would take that. Unknown Driller said, I want a monster in midfield. I've said many times, you know, Thomas Partey is who I would go for. 45 million release clause. Apparently he wants to play in the Premier League as well. So yeah, I would definitely look to get him. Nachaket said, I agree with you, Mustafi needs to be sold. You know, you can't keep giving people chances, man, if you're going to move on. Sometimes you've got to be harsh. Would you want Sancho to Arsenal, said Palace Jet. Oh, mate, all day long. What a brilliant player. But yeah, I think he would cost at least 80 or 90 million. And I don't think Arsenal would spend that on him, to be honest. So overall, Arsenal are performing better. Unbeaten in 2020, but still too many draws. We need to turn these into wins if we're going to be successful. We've got a decent run of fixtures coming up, starting with the game against Olympiacos on Thursday. So let's hope that, you know, we can get the win there, because the Europa League is going to be important, and then Everton at home on Sunday. Big up everyone for watching in the live chat. I appreciate all your comments. Everyone watching after, let me know what you think. Are Arsenal improving? How can we finish the season? You know, can we still get in the top four? Can we win that Europa League? And where do you think we'll finish? Big up everyone for your support. Keep subscribing to the channel. I'll be back after the Olympiacos game. Keep supporting. Take care. Bless.